Hey, it's Courtney with the Highly Sensitive Badass, and welcome to my weekly vlog. It's a video I make once a week, comes to you in your inbox on Sundays. If you'd like to sign up to receive them via email, you can visit my website at thehighlysensitiveBadass.com. And these are weekly love notes. So I've been doing actually daily love notes. I had been challenged to do a daily video by my business mentor, and you might notice those are popping up in Facebook and on YouTube, but this is more of a content vlog as opposed to more of a thought of the day. So I'm really excited to do this week's because I think this is one of the biggest issues that highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive, amazing people deal with, and that is the idea of standing in our power, showing up strong and powerful like a badass, and asking for what we want and putting ourselves first. And we very often don't do this because we're so sensitive to other people's reactions, to conflict, to whatever we fear may happen by doing this. Sometimes the fear of what we may experience prevents us from actually taking the action to go for what we want. And the repercussions of this are so big. It really impacts us in our relationships, and relationships are everywhere. So if it's in work, if it's your spouse, if it's your kids, if it's your friends, no matter what relationship, this impacts all our relationships. And then it also impacts our career. It impacts just everything. And what happens is we keep ourselves so small by doing this. And so, if you're someone with big dreams, but you're not really willing to go for what you want and stand strong in your power, we're going to feel like we're staying small. And that can be painful for a lot of us, especially if you identify with being a light worker, where we have this big mission in the world. It can keep us from that mission because we're not showing up strongly and we're not showing up in our power. So that is the topic of the day, and I'm really excited to talk about that. So one of the things that I think happens as a general phenomenon among people who are this way, sensitive, empathic, is that we start micromanaging everything because we're so conflict averse, and we want everyone to feel comfortable all the time. We care so much about people's feelings. We also don't want to deal with negative feelings. And so sometimes when we ask for what we want, we perceive that it might give us a negative consequence by doing so. And then we might feel like we're opening ourselves up to be criticized, rejected. They may say no. Any kind of negative thing that may happen, we fear that response. And so we don't show up powerfully. We don't ask for what we want. And we, keep ourselves really small. So one of my ways of doing this is to really take care of everything. And I became very much this person who it was so much easier for me to take care of everything, everyone's needs, take care of my kids' needs, take care of my husband's needs, take care of the needs of everyone, right? And that for me was easier than asking for help because I didn't want to deal with maybe someone saying no to me, or maybe someone kind of getting irritated that I'm asking for help. I would already think of what this response may be, and I was already ugh, because of already feeling that response, and it would prevent me from even asking. And so what finally happened is I was I had had enough, and I decided to take a stand. And so the first way to shift this is really finding out what this is costing you. And so for me, what it was costing me was just I became resentful. I was feeling like I was resentful in my relationship. I was resentful with my kids. I was resentful in general. I felt like I had this burden of responsibility on me that felt so uncomfortable. And it shifted me into anger. And it shifted me into just generally showing up as kind of this cranky mom, cranky wife, cranky person in general, because I was shouldering all this responsibility that truly I didn't want. I didn't want it. And so asking yourself really what you want, we don't think about that very often because we're so used to just showing up and taking care of everything that we don't ask if it's really what we want to be doing. And so asking yourself, do I really want this? Also, finding out what it is costing you. So those are two really, really, really crucial things that I want you to do for yourself right now is ask yourself those two things. What is this costing me? And what is it that I actually really want? Because once we decide what we want, we can ask for it. So you need to figure that out first and foremost. But then the final piece of this is really being willing to experience discomfort. That's something that many of us really aren't willing to do. And I want you to ask yourself if this is the case for you. Are you not willing to experience the discomfort and therefore not going for it, not asking for what you want, not showing up in your power? So those are really 3 key things I just want you to start dialoguing with yourself about. And one thing that we often forget too is that our reaction, when we ask for what we want, whatever reaction we may get, it's fine. It's okay. It's our unwillingness to be okay with that prevents us from asking in the first place. And so really opening up and trusting that you can handle whatever reaction. It truly is a choice to stay in your own power. In that moment when you're asking for what you want, it is a choice to stay in your own power. Very often we are so programmed from such a young age to not feel like it's okay. It can take a lot of practice to realize that it's actually a choice. And we often feel like our reflex, I don't even know what I'm trying to say exactly, but our first response is to immediately go into the feeling of discomfort rather than asking ourselves and reminding ourselves that we can stay in our power and it is our choice to do so. And so remembering that you have power over this. You are not a victim to a feeling. We have so much more power over these feelings than we think that we do. So that's a lot to take in. I know that. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear, what is your stand going to be? What are you going to ask for? Where are you going to think about showing up more powerfully? I also want to ask you, what's it costing you? Please share, because that sometimes getting so clear on that can help us take the stand in the first place. And then 3, are you noticing that you're really unwilling to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to experience whatever happens and comes your way? Are you open to the response, whether it's negative or it's positive? What are you resisting? And how is that showing up for you? So those are the questions. So the assignment really is to do all of those, but really I want to ask you, what is your stand going to be? Because I think that that's a really powerful way to end this video, is to ask you, what is your stand going to be? And I would love to hear from you, so please comment below. Again, you can visit me on my website at thehighlysensitiveBadass.com and download my free ebook if you haven't done so already. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.